Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. How are you all doing? This is your host, or hostess, like some people call me, Dr. Maslin and M.OPARAOJI. I am very, very excited about today's topic, and I welcome you to join me. And let's talk about it. Again, after meeting with a few of my people everywhere, I bring to light a summary of what we've talked about and what I have looked into. Welcome to NDISCO'S Village Meeting Podcast. This is the podcast where everything Africa and beyond, the society, the culture, and more are discussed and talked about and shared. Really. Um, Someone asked the other day, but you're talking about Africa, but you talk about every other topic. Because every topic actually is universal as they come, and they touch every lives everywhere. So it may not be just only tailored to Africa, but what I talk about most of the time, like today's topic, it also affects those, um, whether you're Africa in diaspora or Africa at the homestead. So let's get into it. We talk about everything else, culture, but then culture is as wide as you have it and touches on everything. But let's today talk about the market culture, the job market culture. So people ask, even every part of the world, when you have toiled through schooling and decided you want to do A or B, all of a sudden things change. When you were looking forward to getting out of school and getting a job, again, it depends on where you are. You could be in one of those countries where a lot of um, not so good things are happening, and the young ones are ignored, and their future is ignored, and particular, attention is not paid to job creation and the future of these young ones. It's not because they don't have the wherewithal; it's because their countries have bad leadership, and so no plans are made. But that is where the government, stepped in. The other aspect is what happens when you have it all. You have the money, you have the good leadership and all that. And yet, getting a job is tough. So we're going to examine those and see what's going on. So let's look today at the job market. Let's ask some hard questions. What is trending? So if I am in school today and I'm coming out tomorrow, is what I am studying actually going to be what I'm being getting in the market, job market? And this is also for those young ones who um, decide they love a particular subject, but because of its name, going in there because it's fun or because it's easier. I want you to listen to this today and determine or think hard about choosing your specialties or your disciplines before you go in. I always tell the ones that I talk to look at the job analysis. What is going to be there in the next 5 years when you come out of college, assuming you're going in this year, and even midway, okay? Because it's really tough to have paid some money in schools, or your parents did, and then you drop off or drop out. Or midway you start changing, your focus, just because right from the bat you didn't make good decisions. This is also for my African parents, my African fellow adults, who already molded their minds or made their minds up on what they want their children to become or the disciplines they want them to go into. be mindful that things are no longer the way they used to be when we were all growing up and raised by parents who maybe knew more than we did because we weren't out there. But today, you find the reverse is the case because of the media out there bombarding these young ones with a lot of information from the outside world. They sometimes know what they want or what is good for them than we, the parents, can ever say. But it doesn't take that parenting out of the picture. You still guide, ask questions, know what they know, so as to help them reason everything out. Okay, that's another topic for another day. But today, let's look at what is trending as far as job is concerned. What does future job market look like? What is it looking like? No, are there some jobs that are dying out there? Let's see. Which are the women dominated jobs? A lot of happening this month of March, being the Women's Month or the Women's Month. We're looking also at what concerns them when it comes to the job market. For those of them that are not home rearing babies as full-time job, that's a full-time job. Which jobs have welcomed retirees? Now, one of the things that is happening in the world, and we're going to go to that topic sometime in the future, a lot of people are getting older but younger. A lot of people that are retiring are really are finding themselves actually asking themselves, what are we going to do as we retire? We are not sick, we are able-bodied, we are strong. And so you will talk about what, the job market out there is for them. Again, when you look into all these things, you start finding out that, oh my goodness, there are jobs out there that the young ones, the new generation, the what we call generation Z, or what is it that they call them now? We're running out of letters. Um, Many jobs they are not doing, they don't want to do. They stay away from those. And so these are also benefiting the retirees. So we will go all to see what else is going on there. But we must all remember that for you, and this is for the younger ones going in, you either are saving through your work if the government is going to help you one way or the other. At the end, when you're no longer able to work, you got to put in the hours now. That is, if in the future we still have Social Security, because that's how you get paid. Social Security is the number of hours or years you put in working, because that's where they take your money out of to save for you. For those of you who are self-employed, don't forget to really do that savings part also of individual retirement account, or what they call ARIA. Somebody else who is expert in that case will tell you more about that. For those of you in countries that don't practice Social Security and all that, the pensions are there. But then there are governments or countries where their governments misuse that aspect. So as you go on, we're talking about jobs and trends here. So I'm trying to touch all bases, but not going deeper into those aspects. But we'll talk about them. So let's see what's going on with um, this topic here. So first of all, let's describe job. What is a job? It is a piece of work, and this is all Googled, especially a specific task done as part of the routine of one's occupation or for an agreed price. So it doesn't have to be that, okay, as a lawyer, you are making the money that way because you're trained for that. That's a job. You're doing it. It's your occupation. It's your profession. It's your career. But there are those also who, if they're cleaning the gutters as handymen, or they're cleaning the roads, that's also their way of living, that, there's an agreement to get paid. That's a job. What are job market trends? And statistic easily that come put it this way. They say, and I quote, refer the job market trends refer to the patterns and shifts in employment opportunities, workforce dynamics, and the overall economic landscape that influence hiring practices. These trends can be driven by various factors, including technology advancements, demographic changes, and economic fluctuations, end quote. So look at all those words there: technology, economic fluctuation, demographic changes. All these are factors that affect the job trends. Work dynamics are part of those. Okay. So let's see what happens in today's work environment, especially in the US. We could feel the tide change a little bit with a new government. And again, everybody's looking towards what happens in the next few years, starting from what is happening today. So, what are today's market trends as we see that, as everybody talks about them? So, what we are finding is that the continued advances of technology and the use of artificial intelligence that way everybody sings like a song are deeply and steadily becoming important aspects of industry lives. It doesn't matter which industry, it's touching every one of them. Although these advances have opened many new opportunities, they have raised concerns about staff, job security. The other day we were talking about uh, the artificial intelligence aspect of um, if you, I think the argument was um, if you are a nurse at the bedside, that's your profession, that's your job. All of a sudden, new things are coming up. You no longer take a patient's temperature with the old thermometer. You got to use the new um, devices that have been built by someone who did not just biology, but now biology and technology, which is biotech, to produce that. They pump in, they put in something on your forehead to check the thermometer or the temperature of this person is now the trend. So these things make you keep up with what you are doing at work. You can never you will stand still. So it also reminds us that automated jobs assumed by these technological advances have begun to take up the tasks that were easily or usually performed by humans. As these advances mature or continue in the rate they are moving, it's likely that the jobs as we know them or as we have known them will now be replaced by AI, artificial intelligence. The future is here. The robots are coming. Um, I was listening to a podcast the other day that predicted that in the year 2030, there will be more robots in the houses than we have them now, doing all kinds of chores and errands. And before I would have doubted, but today I believe that the way things are moving at really fast pace is overwhelming at times, but exciting. So, having said that, let's look at the main jobs that are trending today. So every corner you look at it, it's changing. But what are people holding on to today and maybe very certain that that may continue? Anything medical and health series, all health related disciplines, whether you are a doctor, a nurse, a pharmacist, um, a nursing assistant, um, all that. Why is that? Why is that a main trading thing? Is that because no matter what happens, people will still be getting sick or get sick, and somebody has to take care of them. So that doesn't change. The only thing that changed mostly in there is the use of technology to ease, how people work or do their things, and a whole lot of that is going on. So if you're in that field, don't relax. Get on with the technology. It's not going to stay there forever. For those who work in pharmaceutical companies that make the drugs, or the devices or the vaccines, they will tell you that each time they have to catch up with the technology and the data trends of how to capture them fast, and also have to keep up with patients and the quality. So a lot is out there that has to be done. But if you are going to be in this field or continue to be in this field, you got to keep up with the technology as well. Computer and information sciences is another one that it's every day, everywhere. Um, it used to be the fact that you got to go to the bank all the time to do all your transaction online. Now, online now is doing everything for everyone. And just imagine you don't know how to even turn on the computers. And there are people like that. The world is passing that group back, by. So that's another trend. Market research analysts and marketing specialists. Yeah, people are looking at also what is the trend in marketing. The fluctuation of, again, we have looked at what is going on with trades, international or local, the rates of stocks going up and down. Um, Again, this is where the world is looking at, because everything now is going online, and people have to keep up with that kind of um, analysis. Data scientists, again, data, because what is driving us is technology, and technology relies on data, and we have to make sure that we understand what it is and what it's not. So we talked about what the job is like today. I'm not going to dwell much on this. Again, my job is, or what I have chosen to do in my podcast, is to create awareness. And the rest is for you to dig in, go back in if you have questions. And that's why I also put it on YouTube now. So you can always go back and take a look, and expand these items as much as you can, including deciding to talk to somebody else about it or build around it to expand. What happens in your own country? What happens in your community? Is that the same as the world? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself or yourselves if you see a group of more than one. So what does the future of market look like? Many people have predicted a whole lot, but this list is not um, the like if there are many more items that are not here that you could find out. If you're interested in a particular field, look into it. Try to find out how in the future are you, or how backward are you in that arena. Okay, bring yourself up to speed. Again, the future on mental health counselors is bright, because as we get in, the society is more and more dependent on substance abuse. And so people are going to be out there helping these people. Renewable energy engineers. Now we are doing with all that aspect. Robotics. We're seeing a lot of robots being built. So people have to be doing that. Software engineers, data analysts, and data scientists. Again, I talked about these people. They are going to go into the future. Artificial intelligence and automation consultants. So if we have robots, we have to have people who will program them. Extended reality developers and designers. I used to be part of this 5.0 virtual reality, um, kind of stuff when we were working on some kind of training for people who cannot go into spaces that are considered clean. When we say clean, that means everything, and that had to be do with devices and stuff. Um, this is what's called for. Um, the reality developer, so that people don't go into where they don't have to go in, and they're designing those things. Artificial intelligence ethicists. Yes, where we have stuff going on, one of the things we will hear that artificial intelligence does not devoid of errors. Actually, people are still humans are still behind the artificial intelligence or those robots and all that, feeding them. So if humans can make mistakes, these things can make mistakes. So ethicists are the ones asking the questions. Should this be happening? I remember one of the papers that I read for someone actually um, um, reviewed that paper that was asking the question when we were having um, the heart valves put in pacemakers. And some people will fetch pacemakers from people who died and try to recycle it for those who need them, who are still alive or very sick. And the ethicist thinking there is, how do we do that? And why? And should we do that? And there were always pros and cons. So this is just like the ethicists here asking the questions of, should artificial intelligence be able to do this or not do that? Where do we cross the line? So these are their jobs. Artificial intelligence, machine learning specialists, healthcare workers, okay? I've said it before, these people are still going to be, including even social workers. Their job is very, very tough and very needed because families out there also need these people. So whatever you are doing in the way of health, just include technology with it. Social media influencer. That's where we all come in. um, people are looking forward to people consolidating information. You know, we are on information highway, and a lot of dumping is being done, both false, and what they call fake and real. So some of them are hard to really um, 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 decipher that this is real or fake, but you got to do your research, find out. And let me share that AI Meta is doing a good job of detecting those when they are posted out there. So some of us do a lot of research before we can post anything out there. So social media influencer, it's going to still be out there. Prompt engineers, business intelligence analysts, information security and cyber security specialists, especially with the advent of the AI and all this technology stuff. Yeah, some people are looking to steal from others or, use other people's information online for something else. So cybersecurity is big. Sustainability specialists also are being asked to at the future of jobs. Um, as we have future jobs, we also have dying jobs. So if you are in one of those dying jobs, you got to rethink what else to do. It's never too late to relearn. An average person, if you're alive, you owe it yourself to keep learning. Recharge once in a while. You cannot get yourself stuck in one knowledge. Knowledge and skills should be dynamic. That is what I tell the young ones. It's always good to look in your portfolio, and say, oh, I have this, but I don't have that, and try to, you don't have to know everything and do everything, but enough to know a little bit about, a lot, so that you can function. The idea of putting yourself in a straitjacket to be in just one lane, looking at a particular skill only, the time is past. So you got to be as versatile as you can. The telemarketing job is no longer going to be there. They are dying. I don't know how many people have called you. And but if you listen to any recording now, you hear the phone ring, and the next moment the robot or the machine is talking, something is talking to you that is not human. So telemarketers' job are dying or they're gone. Manual entry of clerical entry of data, bookkeeping, proofreading, we have, you know, uh, things now, resources within even Google that will proofread your stuff if you know the best way to go. Bank tellers, they are still there, a few, but I went to a neighborhood bank that just opened the other day, and there was no teller, nobody behind the counter, but machines all set up around, and you do every transaction, ask every question to the machine, and they spit out the answer for you. And there were just two people in the bank sitting behind the desk in case you want to come in and open an account or something really serious. But the machine was doing everything, giving you money, taking your money, answering your questions and everything. There was no bank teller in the whole building. So I think that's the future. Security guards, yeah, we have that, but now we know that the cameras are taking over and all that. Housekeepers, again, the robots are coming. Cashiers, ticket stores, salespeople, jobs. You can buy your ticket online. So why do I need to go there and stay in a line at the counter of any movies or anywhere else? Factory worker jobs. Again, these are being taken over by robots. Travel agent jobs. You can sit behind the computer and get your own everything about travel and make up your own mind of where you want to go and where you don't want to go. Customer service rep, again, that's dying. Driver's job. Think about it. We're beginning to have driverless cars, and um, it's dying, really. When you used to have, except in some countries, I know that in Africa, people are still employing, drivers to drive them back and forth. As the world changes and moves over, you better have something else that you can do apart from that. As I was looking into this, I decided to check into what job areas that women are dominating or where they are anchored more. And I found a lot of them that make sense. And I was thinking about the places that I go, and I'm like, although we have a few men here and there, they are mostly women. I'm yet to know why, but I found what the jobs are. My next thing is to dig deep to see why are women dominant in these areas and there are no men. But again, these things are going to change, you know. Um, so hairstylists and cosmetologists, in as much as we have men there in there too, it's mostly women. Medical assistants, childcare. Again, that's the instinct of a woman playing a part there. Dental assistants, dental hygienists, dietitians and nutritionists, yeah. Medical records and health information technicians, secretaries and administrative assistants, mostly women, but there are men as well. Speech language pathologists, and the last but not the least, preschool and kindergarten teachers. Again, there's a little mixed, but I think that plays to their maternal instincts or more. I could be wrong. But the thing is that for those parents who may not want their daughters to go into mostly male dominated job areas, or they feel that there are still some parents like that who don't want their children out there because it's a it's a life full of men. You can also focus on these, and that might put your daughter in a more women dominated areas. But In today's world, I don't know who is thinking that way, but you could never know. So now that we have a lot of people retiring young, and some of them who have paid their dues, given their most of their lives and working, are now a little bit tired. But what many of them are sharing is that the moment you retire, maybe a few months into that and all that, you find out that it isn't what it's meant to be, um, and you want to get out somewhere. It's good. It's good. So if you decide you haven't saved enough money for retirement, or you are itching to just go out of the house every day to do something, and after you've traveled all that travel thing, come back, there are jobs. Amusement park greeters. It may not pay much, but some people have the money, but they need to get out somewhere to really meet other humans. Retail jobs. And this is, you can see that when you go to some of these retail shops, Walmart and the rest of them, you find a lot of the elderly ones, just having the ball. They're smiling, they're talking to everybody, maybe they're working part-time, they just go out there. Skilled handyman, those of them who knew how to fix things here and there, um, they are now, answering calls to come in for a few amount of money to do stuff. Again, security guards for just the minor security needs. Pet sitters, a lot of them now, you see them pulling dogs and cats around. Theater ushers. They still need people sitting people in the theaters or in movie areas and all that. So these older ones take the delight in doing so. I've seen a lot of them in the movie houses, so they welcome you and let you in. Park rangers, they are the ones that will give you tour. They are the tour guides. Library assistants, museum docents, they are there, and call center reps. When these jobs, I know that some of them are going away, but this is where the old ones are settling now. So we look at now. Somebody was uh, telling me the other day that there are jobs, especially in not in the professional aspect, but lower paying jobs that cannot find employees, but the jobs are there. So what are they resorting to? The new generation doesn't want these jobs. They are looking forward to all this high tech and all that. So these jobs are now welcoming back the retirees, which is also good for them. Substitute teaching, for example. These people are now going back to the classrooms to help the teacher and supervise, do stuff for the kids. And most of them are loving it. Accounting. Remember when people used to do night shifts to, do the accounting for hotels or for some other places like that? And the new generation doesn't want that. So the old ones go back. School bus driving, you see a lot of them. Baristas, coffee makers. So you go to Starbucks, Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts or something, or any of those. You will see these old folks, wiping tables and smiling and giving you coffee. There are young ones there, those maybe during school breaks, but mostly the old ones. Post office serving, there you find a lot of them. For a long time, I haven't seen any young person behind the desk at the post offices. Office assisting, yes. Librarianship, okay. These young ones don't want to go go in. They only go in the library if they are going to look for um, something. You don't even see most of them there unless they are studying for the exams in the school library. But in the county library, maybe the younger ones borrowing books that don't have access to computers all the time. But whatever you're going to look for, unlike in the old days where we are always in library, these ones are just looking up stuff online. Truck driving, again, that's another one that is now the retirees are going back to. Security guarding, like we said, and library assistant. All these are jobs now that are recycling, going back to the old ones that started them. Anyways, so I wanted to, conclude this by bringing you back to what I call photo speak. These are examples of all the jobs. Sometimes it's good to show these pictures to your younger ones and say, this is how they look like. Because sometimes they see this on paper, unless they are computer literate enough to look up things for themselves, bring it to them. The first picture here is showing little kids in their actually professional outfits. I think it's cute. Sometimes they wear that. I remember one of mine used to wear the pharmacist jacket when he was one, made a presentation in that and ended up in that field. So that's what they start young to think about stuff. Guide them, ask questions. They come in all kinds. The bottom left is today's picture of what technology has brought us to. A lot of suiting up um, and all that. So it's interesting how all of them come together. This last photo speak, I wanted to talk about women in professions that are supposed to be male dominated. I didn't share a slide of male dominated jobs here. There's a reason for that because males can work in all of this. They started before now to work in all of these disciplines, but women are beginning to really attempt to go into them. So that's a plus for everyone, I think. So you see women firefighters, women, cutting up woods in construction, women climbing to pluck. That's a lady there in the third picture, plucking cocoa seeds from the tree. The fourth one is in the factory doing quality check, quality analysis there. You see the last one on the right upper pictures. As a chef and doing it in front of a television that is being broadcast to the world. But then also I added at the bottom left a man that is using a camera to analyze food. Now, this is the type that you don't even have to go into anywhere. A lot of people are having jobs now that they can do from their homes, the comfort of their homes. And this could be one of them. The second picture is also somebody, a lady teaching a whole classroom. It could be anywhere in the world, behind the computer in the comfort of our home, and she's talking to them and doing that. So this is the future we are now we're not seeing, is that you could in the comfort of your home do stuff. So time has passed when people will tell you, oh, you got to be here and there. No, you can earn dollars in Nigeria while working remotely behind your laptop. You can earn naira in the US while you are behind your laptop working. And you can really see everybody you are working with or talking to about something wherever. Surgeries have been done with the use of computer across globes. So nothing is stopping you from making money if you are qualified to do the job. And that's why you got to expand your skills. The picture in the middle there is where the old people are giving opinions about, oh, you should be this, you should be that. I'm telling the young ones, listen, but ask questions and tell them what your own, or tell your parents what your own interest is or are, or interests are, so that they could see where you are going. For them to be making up that's their opinion. The second to the last picture there shows a mom. If you bring closer that picture, you see the mom is a lawyer. is a nurse, is everything, is a comforter, that is the package of being a woman, a mother. You are everything to everybody, all in one. So to say that your skill is limited to one thing, that's a thing of the past. Expand your knowledge, expand your skill. And the last picture to the right are the little ones. I wanted to end that by showing that at that age, as toddlers, infants, you are, when you put all these professional outfits on them or professional resources on them, you are beginning to waken in their minds what they could be. So when small, you start, labeling them something good, they grow up thinking about that. I never knew I could even get to a doctorate level. Um, but I remember when I was small, my dad used to call me a doctor to my name. I didn't know what that meant, but I grew up thinking that, he must have seen in me something I didn't see in myself. So what I am saying in earnest here is, even when they're small, awaken their minds so the potentials of whatever they can be. When they are in your stomach or your tummy, you can still talk to them and they listen, they hear. As you grow into teenagers, the teenage era, guide them. Tell them this is what the world is becoming tomorrow. Yes, you like to rap. There's nothing bad about it, but make sure your knowledge does not just focus in singing. You got to know a little bit more. Okay. If they want to just float the balloons every day, what is there to you? What is the future of balloon floating? A lot of questions. So that tomorrow nobody is a liability, everybody can do something for everyone, for themselves especially. So this has been, I think, has become one of the longest um, so far that we have done the podcast. But this is very meaningful. And I want you all, everyone, to go back in there and look deep into that, especially for the young ones, the young adults, the youths that are going into college, not knowing what they're going in for. It's good to start early to think about it. That's why the school counselors are for. For my African um, um, nations, it's time to also start these children thinking outside the box. The period of rote learning, of memorizing old textbooks, and just passing the exams, those times are passing us by real fast. Everybody should get a skill, one skill, two skills, three skills, or more, because the world is changing. I thank you for listening, and I again welcome you to go deeper into this topic and find what your tomorrow holds. Okay. Even if you are retiring or you're retired, you can still be useful to the community and to yourself. If you are little going into school, ask your parents questions. If you are parents, don't limit your children. Don't make them become what you could have. They have different interests. They are growing up in a different environment and a different world, different from what you and I may have started with. And with that, I say thank you so much. Remember the spirit of Ubuntu. I am because we all are, or you are. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my Facebook page and my Boss Prowse podcast area. I'm in every aspect. Also my Instagram. Thank you so much for staying with me and watching, and I appreciate you all. If you can give stars, please do, and share all these to people who could benefit from it. Okay. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend. This is your host or hostess, Dr. Maslina Didi Oparaoji, saying sayonara.